What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video I am going to be giving my full card predictions for UFC 309. John Jones, he now wants to be called Johnny Meat apparently, because he's just gay. It's fucking weird guy. Versus Stipe Miocic, old man Stipe. The card's pretty mid. So we're having a mid off in the main event. Probably one of the weaker MSG cards in history. I mean, there hasn't been that many of them. I'll probably do a ranking MSG cards video if you guys want to see that. Let me know. But yeah, predictions, all that. You guys know what it is. I recently boasted about doing well on picks. I made a community post saying how well I've been doing. I've been going at 76% for the last 5 weeks, and I think 81% for the last 3 weeks. But I know 100% that's going to come to a crashing halt now because I'm not allowed to take credit for my picks. So I'm probably going to do terrible. But yeah, let's get started with the early prelim opener, go all the way to the main event. And yeah, going to give my detailed predictions and justified breakdown because I totally haven't watched any fucking tape for this card at all because it's boring. Who cares? But yeah, let's get started with the early prelim opener. First fight on the card, Eduarda Moura versus Veronica Hardy. Now, Veronica Hardy is someone who I've been kind of back and forth in terms of picking her in fights. I picked against her against Juliana Miller, which in hindsight was terrible because Juliana Miller's incapable of fighting. Because she was coming off like Hardy, was coming off like a 3-year layoff, coming off a loss to Bea Malecki. Now, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking like. I'm giving you an in-depth breakdown for this fight. I'm picking Eduarda Moura. I don't really know why. I think it's just vibes. And also, I mistakenly picked Eduarda Moura in her last fight when she was clearly the more feminine-looking woman. And now, she is the less feminine-looking woman. So I'm once again going to stick with the tried-and-true logic of women's MMA, which is to pick the one who looks more like a dude. And it always works. I need to calculate this for women's MMA. I'm like pretty sure this has like a 95% success rate of just picking the one that looks like a lesbian. Most of the time. I'll come up with some examples that it doesn't usually hit, but 90% of the time this shit hits, and it's a tried and true method. So yeah, I'm going to pick Eduarda Moura. I do think she's physical enough to get some takedowns. Hardy's alright, she's decent on the feet, so I could see her landing some good shots on the feet, but Diniz Gomez was Eduarda Moura's last fight, and she had more power. She's lesbian, obviously. That's going to work out for her, and Eduarda Moura was just failing a bunch of takedowns. But here, I don't think Hardy's quite as strong as Eduarda Moura. I also don't think Moura's going to be as affected by the weight cut because she's moving up to flyweight. So I think she'll be able to push a bit more of a pace, be a bit more physical, because she looked really good in her debut. But yeah, we'll see what happens. She's an underdog here, so I'm taking an underdog in women's MMA for the first fight of the night. But I feel pretty good about it, given that, again, looks like a dude. Well, not looks like a dude, but looks more like a dude than Hardy. So yeah, I think this pick will pay off, hopefully. Let's move on, though, to the next fight on the card. Next fight on the card is Elliott versus Basel Hafez. Now, I'm going to go with Elliott here. He is a favourite, and I don't like that he's too big of a favourite. And if I was betting, I definitely would not be betting on Elliott at this number. If you're going to go, I'd say the prop bet is the way to go by decision. Basel Hafez never been finished. So that's a little stat for you if you want to kind of get the juice of the number down a little bit and get a bit better value on Elliott. Because I do think he is just a bit better everywhere than Basel Hafez. I don't know how old Hafez is, but he looks 36. He looks like a middle-aged man with his Elliott. I know he's 26, actually young in his career. He's got 2 losses by KO, which if you look at Hafez, you'd be like, oh, that might be a worry. Hafez looks like a guy who's going to be a real power puncher. I think he's got 1 win by TKO on his record. He's a submission or like grind out heavy grappling decision guy. Looked solid against JDM, got beat the fuck out of on the feet, displayed a good chin. But just got a bunch of takedowns because JDM kept jumping guillotine like a retard. And it was a split decision in the end because JDM just had too many moments where he was like getting taken down. And even though he clearly won on damage, he was just getting taken down a bunch. But I don't think that his performance after that, which was it was a win against Gall, but a win where he looked mid as fuck and arguably could have lost that fight. Now, maybe there is the worry because I thought that was like 29-28 either way. He got like 230-27s, I'm pretty sure. So there is a worry that the judges just see this dude swinging big meaty hooks and just give him the win in favour of Elliott, who's not really a power puncher. but he's got, Oban Elliott's got solid grappling. He looked a little bit mid against Val Woodburn early, like he did get dropped, but after that he got takedowns. His grappling's real good. I think both guys are going to grapple. I think they'll kind of neutralize each other. I think we'll end up on the feet, and I do think Oban Elliott's a bit quicker and a bit cleaner on the feet, so I'll go with him to win. I was considering the Basil Hafez underdog pick, but I'm going to be a bit boring, and I'm going to pick Oban Elliott. I do think he's a decent prospect. Not top 10 caliber, but I think he could be a decent guy that makes a little bit of a name for himself as a welterweight fighter. Let's move on, though, to the next fight. Next up on the card, we got Brahimaj versus Gall. Now, I think in most cases I would be like, of course I am picking against Gall to win a fist fight because he's awful. But Brahimaj is also awful, and if you look at his resume, he has no good wins. Coming off a very lopsided, kind of lackluster fight against Temba Garimbo Magumbu, where he just kind of got taken down a bunch. Gall, bit of a grappler, looked decent on the feet against Hafez and actually didn't just get chinned out cold, which is a good sign for him. And Brahimaj, not historically a major power puncher. Now, maybe we see a random KO here, so there is a side that's like tempting to be like, Gall is just not trustworthy to not get chinned, and he did take a bit of damage against Hafez. Does get cracked a lot, did get KO'd flat by Mike Malott. But I just think Brahimaj is atrocious. I don't think he's good in any way. And yeah, he came off a big layoff from memory in that fight against Garimbo. Maybe he's good here. Maybe there is a side to be like, oh, I'll pick him. I'll go with Gall. I don't know. Fucking who cares? Some of these early prelim fights are really close on the odds. Some coin flip ass matchups, I'll be honest. Anyway, I'll go Gall by decision. Let's move on though to the prelims. Next up on the card, we got Tybura. He's a great fighter. I'd love to fight him. Versus Diniz. His name's pronounced with a J for some reason. But yeah, I am going to be picking Diniz to get the win by TKO. I'll say first, second round, one of those two. I could see first round, just like Tybura spends too much time on the feet, but what I could also see happening is the path that all of Diniz's fights have taken recently, which is guy gets takedown, gets tired because it's heavyweight and they're obese, fails takedown in second round, gets KO'd. That's basically the blueprint of Diniz's fights. I mean, to be fair, that was only really the Austin Lane fight. The Carl Williams fight went to a decision, but Carl Williams took some big shots. Now, Diniz, I'm not saying he's like a Pereira-type puncher. He is a glory kickboxer, but nowhere near the level of Poatan or any of those guys, obviously. I think people automatically hear glory kickboxer and just assume they're like world-class. Like, you can just be a mid-glory kickboxer. Like, not every... glory kickboxing is not like top 5 ranked kickboxers in the world. That's like just people that fight in the promotion. Like, they're not all good. But Diniz, he's solid. I think he's good, and I think he's going to win here by TKO, because I think Tybura is just old and washed and just a bit chinny as well. He gets KO'd. He got KO'd by Aspinall immediately. Do I think Diniz is going to go out there and fucking sleep him immediately? Probably not. But yeah, I do think he will win eventually. I just don't think Tybura can spend any time with him on the feet for more than like 2 minutes without just getting cracked with something. And we saw it against Austin Lane. Once he got cracked, he just dies. Austin Lane's a very chinny fighter, but like Tybura, I don't think he's exactly an iron chin type of guy, getting older as well. Also, Diniz has had a fight camp for this. Yes, he was training for Lewis, who's a striker. But he might have been working on some takedown defense. I think he's going to be improving in that department, because that's just what you do when you're new to MMA, is you have to just improve in the wrestling department. So I think he'll look alright here. And Tybura's coming off a relatively quick turnaround. He fought in August. Not a quick turnaround, but like, he got armbarred. Not like damage to the head wise, but I don't know. I think he's a bit slow. Reaction time is probably not there. And I think this is the fight where everyone's like, oh yeah, he's just going to get taken down. Tybura's a great submission guy on top, whatever. He'll beat him, ground and pound him. Maybe he does. Maybe we see someone with the grappling level above Austin Lane, fraud check Diniz. But I think he might get a TKO here, and I think he'll probably lose his next fight after that. But I think the UFC is hoping for a win here, hoping for some new guys at the top of heavyweight. I don't think he'll be a top 5 fighter, but I think he's good enough to beat the blobs of the heavyweight division. Let's move on, though, to the next fight. Next up on the card, Jim Miller versus Damon Jackson. The battle of the hairline versus the old wood chipper man. I don't know what we're going for here, but Jim Miller, I think he's taken too much damage recently. Now, you could say the same thing for Damon Jackson, but I think Jim Miller's a bit older. and I think he's taken a little bit more damage. Damon Jackson takes some bad knockout losses, but he doesn't get too many, like, prolonged beatings where he just gets hit a lot. Like, Chepe beat him up in his recent fight, but he's going up to lightweight. I think if this fight was at, like, featherweight, I don't know why Jim Miller would cut down to featherweight, but, like, if it was skill-wise with Damon Jackson taking damage, I wouldn't love it, but I think he's going up. The chin will be refreshed a bit, and I don't think Jim Miller is on the caliber of a Dan Ige or an Elliott Topuria or a Chepe Mariscal as a guy who's going to just sleep him. And I don't think he's going to just beat him across 15 minutes. Jackson's got solid cardio. He beat, I don't want to use MMA math, he did beat Alexander Hernandez, who did beat Jim Miller. That's like a kind of MMA math thing you can do. Stylistically, it's a little bit different, of course. But Damon Jackson, I think his grappling solid. I think he can work the grappling a bit, work the ground game. And even on the feet, I actually think his striking is not awful. Like, he's not bad at striking. He just fights power punches and is susceptible to getting chinned. But apart from fucking Jesse Butler, who then moved down not one weight class, but 2 weight classes, moving down to bantamweight from lightweight, dropped 20 pounds in his next fight, and then lost to Brad Katona. Jesse Butler's the guy that Jim Miller's recently chinned. Like, he has KOs, he's got that old man power. I don't think he's putting out Damon Jackson. I think Jackson gets the win. A lot of half-guard camp and a lot of grappling. Bit boring at times, but I just don't rate... I don't know, Miller just got pieced up by Bobby Green. I think the hand speed will be evident here, and I think Damon Jackson will kind of outpoint his way to a decision, just doing more at the right moments. Anyway, let's move on to the next fight. Next up on the card, Chris Weidman versus Eryk Anders. I'm going to go with Weidman. I reckon we could see a bit of a robbery here as well, because Weidman's from the area. He's a fan favourite in New York, I think, from my assumptions based off where geographically he trains at and shit. He got supported big over in Atlantic City, which I assume is pretty... I don't live in America, guys, don't make fun of me. I know geography for everywhere else. I could not care less about American geography. Where Atlantic City's close-ish to New York, yeah? It's close enough. Anyway, Weidman, probably some home-cooked robbery here, probably like some judging favoritism, probably let him get away with a few eye pokes as well. Eryk Anders will be blind by the second round, so that's going to aid in my prediction of Weidman by decision, because he will, if you're fighting a blind fighter, that's just going to help, and he's going to be fighting a blind fighter because he will eye poke Eryk Anders multiple times and not get points taken, so that's what you got to consider here. You might be like, oh, why are you considering someone breaking the rules in your prediction? Because the reason is, my friend, is they don't punish it if you're not someone that they don't like. If they like you, and if you're kind of just around, Chris Weidman's close with the UFC, he works the weigh-in show and shit, they will just allow you to do it. And even like afterwards, DC was like justifying, we're like, I feel bad for Chris, man, like, why do you feel bad for him? He was eye-poking the fuck out of Bruno Silva. But Eryk Anders is kind of mid as well. Like, even though also people saying, look, Weidman's old, Anders is 37. Anders probably ain't fighting that much more either. Like, he might retire after this. We might get, like, a double retirement, which would be pretty cool. It'd kind of be a bit weird, because, like, it'd be, like, Weidman, established legend of the sport, and then, like, Eryk Anders, like, he'd probably just be trying to join in to get some sympathy. But, like, I could see Anders also retiring here. He beat Jamie Pickett. Didn't he get dropped against Jamie Pickett, though? Like, I don't know, he just looks mid. Weidman looks mid as well, got tuned up by Tavares. But yeah, Bruno Silva's not awful, and he looked solid against him. I think he could work some grappling here, I guess. Maybe he just gets out physicality. Maybe this is just sad and he loses. But I'll go the underdog. I don't know, Weidman. Maybe rely on some bad judging too. So if I come back to this and you guys say, oh, but Anders should have won, you got your pick wrong. No, I got my pick right, because I'm picking it to be questionable or robbery. So yeah, I think Weidman's going to win a controversial decision. Let's move on though to the next fight. Next up on the card, Jonathan Martinez, J Mart versus Marcus McGhee. I don't know who's going to win this fight. I'm not really sure, but I'm going to pick Marcus McGhee. This is a low confidence pick. I was kind of flip-flopping on this one, kind of thinking, oh, maybe I'll go with the established skill and like the fact that we know how good Jonathan Martinez is, but I think Martinez isn't going to get much further than what we've seen right now, which is a guy who's going to have a close fight with Said Nurmagomedov, who's probably going to tune up and beat the Cub Swansons and the Adrian Yanez of the world, but he will lose to Jose Aldo, and he'll get tuned up by them. I don't know how good Marcus McGhee is. He's looked solid so far. He beat Joe in his last fight. Now, you might be asking, who's Joe? It's the exact same question Max Holloway asked Elliott Topuria. Who is Joe? Oh, sorry, vice versa. I fucked that line up. That was a funny joke. It's the same question. No, it is Max. No, Ilya asked Max, sorry, yeah. Ilya asked Max, who's Joe? Ilya knows who Joe is and is petrified of him. Joe is Gaston Bolaños, but his name's Joe. Or you could call him Ilya Aptoro. That's also another name for him. But we will never be calling him Gaston Bolaños again. He will forever be known as Joe. And if you were on my stream on the weekend when Joe fought, you will know the joke. If not, you'll think I'm retarded right now and be like, you think you're funny left lane, you're not. But anyone who was in my stream will find this hilarious. But Joe's not a bad win. Joe's 9-4. You know, that's a solid record. He beat him, KO'd him in the second. I think he's just got more finishing ability, and he's got more ability to do well for the judges. Because the judges in here, I'm picking him by TKO, but if he doesn't get it done by TKO, it's going to go scorecards. I don't think Martinez finishes him unless McGhee's just susceptible to leg kicks. But, like, people are acting like Martinez is just the fucking best leg kicker to ever exist. Like, he beat old weight-drained Cub Swanson, who was making a desperation cut to fucking bantamweight, which went terribly for him, and he never fought there again. And then he also kicked Yanez's legs off, who just didn't know how to defend them. And, like, McGhee's solid. He's aggressive. I think if you're aggressive, it takes away some of the leg kicks. Also, bigger cage here. I don't think McGhee... Sorry, I know McGhee hasn't fought outside the Apex in the UFC yet, but I don't think Martinez deals well with the arenas, with the big crowds, the bright lights. I think he's a pretty quiet guy, pretty reserved dude. And in front of the big crowds, I don't know if he does well. Like, against Jose Aldo, maybe that's just legend fear. He didn't look very good. Maybe that was just Rio kind of petrified him. But MSG, that's a pretty fucking big stage. McGhee, I don't know, he's 34, but he's young in his career, so I think he doesn't have the same miles on him. We've seen Martinez get slept. McGhee has losses too, but none in the UFC yet. Davey Grant slept him. Davey Grant's not known to be a massive power puncher. McGhee, clearly juicy a little bit, clearly a bit on the roids potentially, and an ugly motherfucker as well. Stuff fucking, which for me a better looking opponent as well. He's a fucking ugly motherfucker too, you know that. But McGhee, he looks like Vanderlei Silva. I'm going to do a UFC lookalikes video. This dude looks like Vanderlei Silva. Him, Vanderlei, and Chris Cyborg might be relatives. But I think he's got more finishing ability, and I think he's also, as I said, going to do well for the judges. In the striking exchanges, even if Martinez landing some more low kicks, he's winning the outside foot battle. You know, everyone's asking for the outside foot battle breakdowns. I don't know. I think McGhee's just going to do more. He'll land heavy shots. He'll get more reactions from the crowd. I don't know where the fuck McGhee's from. Is he a home guy? Is Martinez a home guy? I'm not sure. Who cares? But McGhee's training with, like, O'Malley and shit, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I think he's training with, like, O'Malley, Kyler Phillips. Maybe. You know, maybe. I might be wrong there. But if I'm right, then that's a decent team to train at. Prepare for the speed of Martinez, I guess. I don't know. I don't think he beats Said Nurmagomedov. And apart from that, his best win is Yanez. And I think Yanez is a fucking mid fighter who looked, even though he got a finish in his last fight, looked mid. And I picked him to get fraud checked by Rob Font. Yanez, I don't think that good. But McGhee, I think he's solid. He's got a bit of upside. He's got power, got finishing ability. And again, judges sometimes don't really know how to score fights, so they're like, who looked like they did more? So I think they'll go with McGhee here, either by decision based on damage, or he gets a finish and catches him, which again we have seen Martinez put out by Davey Grant. So I think he could just be aggressive, pressure Martinez and take away the low kicks, and then drop a bomb on his fucking chin, and I'll put him down and maybe out. Or maybe get a club and sub as well. Anyway, that'll do it for that fight. Let's move on, though, to the main card. Next up on the card, Mauricio Ruffy versus Yams Llontop. That's the Peruvian. Peruvian pronunciation of the name there. I do my research, guys. But Ruffy is gonna, Brazilian names, though, they confuse the fuck out of me. You'd overthink it, thinks it's Ruffy, it's just Ruffy. Ruffy's gonna tune the fuck out of Llontop. He's gonna beat the fuck out of him, and I'm gonna go with a controversial pick of a submission win, because Yams Llontop has never been KO'd, right? Now, Ruffy's probably the guy to do it, so do I think he will probably just finish him with strikes? Yes. But could I also see Ruffy dropping him and club and subbing and getting the first submission of his career? Very similar to a JDM Randy Brown situation. Drop him, clearly hurt as fuck, but you're just like, okay, I can't be bothered expending the ground and pound energy. Let me just sub this dude. Could see it. So I'm going to go Ruffy by club and sub with a rear naked choke. More likely he just beats the fuck out of him to a finish, or there is just a dominant 30-25 fucking masterclass decision, because Llontop just has a brick chin and won't get slept. These South American motherfuckers, they got chins on them. Cheeto, that Bolivian dude, Jose Medina, bro, these guys got chins. But yeah, Llontop, whatever, he's got a solid chin. I reckon he'll take some shots. I think he will take the shots a lot better than Malaki did, so maybe not a first round KO, but if he hurts him early, he'll jump on him, he'll finish him, and he gave up the back and got choked out by Chris Padilla, got beat up and tuned up by Borshev, so I think Ruffy's got him easy. It should be an easy win, masterclass performance. Fighting Nerds takeover will continue. We got Prates 2-0 this year. Sorry, Baralio 2-0, Prates 4-0, Gene Silva 3-0. Hoofy's about to go... I'm going to keep saying Hoofy. Fuck, Ruffy is about to go 2-0. So we're about to see what's that? I can't fucking count. Addition. 11-0 for the major four guys. I know Bruno Brazil also got a win. And apparently Moises joins the team. Fake guy. You can't join the team midway. You got to be a honorary member. And then that Kainan Krashevsky guy's a bum. He's just he's the team punching bag. He's not even a real fighter. But like the main four, the big four, they're going to go 11-0 in 2024 and establish themselves as the gym of the year. So yeah, Ruffy is going to close it out for him and get the win in easy, dominant fashion. And I'm going to call a submission prop, which will probably be paying quite a bit, which I have no intention of betting on because it's not going to happen. But it'll make me look like a genius if it does. Anyway, let's move on up the card. I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. Why the fuck is this on the main card? Get McGhee and Martinez on the main card. Headline the prelims with fucking Weidman Anders and have this bullshit buried on the early prelims. Who gives a fuck about these women? Karine Silva's probably going to win though. I'll pick her to win. She's got submission upside. She's got better grappling as well. And Viviane Araujo is 37 years of age. So even if I don't think Karine Silva's going to be the next fucking champion, I'm going to just say, bro, Grasso got a fucking title shot off beating this bitch. Like, I'm going to just assume Karine Silva's decent. She'll grind out a win. I think it'll be a similar sort of vibe to Yasmin Lucindo and Marina Rodriguez. Like, the younger, Brazilian, darker skinned, all of that beats the lighter skinned Brazilian who looks more like a female, I guess. Or Karine Silva looks more like a female, to be honest. She doesn't look quite as lesbian. I don't know what way she swings, but she looks kind of normal. But yeah, she'll beat Araujo. Araujo's mid. She's 37 on the downcline or downward spiral decline. Mix those two together. She lost to Natalia Silva, I believe, in her last fight. Not a bad look. Natalia Silva's solid. But Natalia Silva again, she's about to lose to two Silvers back to back. That's my logic. That's my prediction. Let's move on though. Up the card. Up on the card, we got Bo Nickal versus the GOAT on paper, Paul Craig, the best man. This is the definition of on paper. Like, I should do a video about like the on paper versions of fighters. Like, when this guy's at their best, they beat everyone. Like, the best versions of fighters. I'm talking about this motherfucker that beat Magomed Ankalaev, bro. That guy. Or the fucking Cody Garbrandt that looked like a fucking maestro against Dominic Cruz. Like, you know, those fighters that just have one-off performances? That's what I'm talking about. But Paul Craig, he's done it a few times, and I could see him doing it again here, and I actually want him to win. Because middleweight is good enough. Middleweight's not like one of these shit divisions where we just are so starved for prospects. We're like, oh, anyone will do. Can we please just guide this guy through the rankings and not get him beat? I actually kind of want it. I want Bo Nickal to lose. Not because I'm like a Bo Nickal hater. I just think it would be incredibly funny for the UFC to like put so much into this guy, promote him. All the fucking wrestling old heads are like, I don't know, man. Bo Nickal is a serious threat to the middleweight division. Like, these motherfuckers that are already saying he would like beat Hamza. Like, I don't know, man. I think he double legs Hamza. Like, shut up, you fucking idiot. He struggled with Cody Brundage. I'm not going to be the guy to be like, oh, he got fraud checked by Cody Brundage. But like, he doesn't look incredible. His jiu-jitsu is mid as fuck. Obviously, great wrestler. We know this. But someone need to check his grappling. But who gave him black belt? I don't think he's a black belt. But like, great wrestler, mid-ass jiu-jitsu, mid-finishing potential on the ground. I finish a head and arm choke better than this dude, I'm going to say it. No. But like, the finishing mechanics that he's using in the head and arm choke against Jamie Pickett, mid. And even like the RNC, he was just struggling to submit Cody Brundage. Like, mid. Yeah, he KO'd Val Woodburn. Val Woodburn's a bum. Who looked even undersized at welterweight against Oban Elliott. So why the fuck was he fighting middleweight? He was just there existing on short notice. But Bo Nickal, he'll win. He'll win by KO because Craig is incapable of taking anyone down, and he's not going to take down Bo Nickal. And so unless Bo Nickal tries to prove a point, shoots a takedown, ends up in the guard, gets subbed, which would be hilarious. I don't want Bo Nickal to lose by decision. I want this dude to just randomly get fucking armbarred. I want him to either get laid out or get armbarred, because either one of those outcomes will be very funny. But yeah, he'll win. Craig sucks at striking. Baralio's good, yeah. Like, Baralio's top 5 guy, top 6 guy. But, like, he's not like a one-shot KO. He's not Prates. But he looked like fucking Prates against Paul Craig. He got slept. He got KO'd bad by Baralio. And that's just not a great look. Craig's got some pop. Bo Nickal's got some pop. I reckon he'll put Craig away, finish him, and then people will glaze him and act like he's a top 5 guy for KOing the mighty Paul Craig. But if he struggles with him, it'll be kind of funny. I don't want him to lose just yet. I want him to... I mean, losing to Craig would be funny. I want him to struggle against Craig. I want this guy to continuously be presented as more and more of a bum, and the UFC just struggle to promote him. And then eventually he just gets laid out. Because I don't know, Bo Nickal, bro. Bedtime calls him Bot Nickal. He's exactly right. This dude's a fucking NPC. I just like to go hunting, man. I was in the mountains picking some berries. Shut the fuck up. No one cares about you. This guy's the least relatable fucking person ever. He's just like, I'm just in the mountains gleaning berries, I love my hunting. I love my bowing. Bro, he's just on Rogan. He's literally the epitome of the fucking Rogan audience, bro. These motherfuckers really hear a story about this guy climbing the mountains, picking some berries, and be like, damn, bro, that's real interesting. I want to hear more from this guy. Hell no. Get out of here. But he'll win. He'll win by TKO. Anyway, let's move on to the co-main event of the evening. Next up, we got Charles Oliveira do Bronx, a big champion. Thanks so much. Versus Michael Chandler. Sometimes, Hap, you gotta pick yourself up. You gotta dust yourself off. Man, shut your bitch ass up, fool. Anybody trying to... So shout out to Guru for the impression there. The Chandler's kids impression is quite funny. But yeah, Chandler Oliveira rematch. First fight went round 2 TKO. I'm gonna go round 2 submission. Round 2 submission. He's good guys, Charles Oliveira, bro. He's a good fighter, man. He's a former champion, Michael Chandler, bro. He's a weird guy. Fucking get out, man. This guy's villain, bro. This guy's a fucking weird person, bro. But Charles Oliveira do Bronx is going to get the win, bro. The custom shorts on both of these two, hot garbage. I'm sorry, this shit is unbelievably mid. Dana White really made the custom shorts the fucking quality of the fight card, bro. They're like, yeah, this card's ass, so these guys aren't getting good shorts. I hope Oliveira gets his shorts redone for his next fucking fight, because this shit's ass. Maybe he likes them. They just look kind of odd, though. It looks like some rug. It looks like a rug. It looks like the rug in my fucking grandma's lounge room, bro. At her holiday home in fucking, in the bush. She's got a little miner's cottage in the bush. It looks like one of the fucking rugs that we got there. Charles Oliveira shorts. And then Chandler's just a rip-off of Gaethje. So I'm surprised he didn't get, like cotton fields on his shorts. Or, just watermelon. Just some fried chicken on the shorts, But... Oliveira's going to win. I've spent a minute not even breaking down the fight. Oliveira by round 2 submission. Big champion. Thanks so much. A big support. He's going to win, though. Chandler, I'm worried. I am worried because Chandler might just fucking aggression max his way to a win. And he might just catch Oliveira. And if he lands anything slightly cleaner than what he did the first time, there is a chance he just lays him out. I do think Oliveira's getting a bit... up there in age, obviously a little bit worse for wear, probably not going to be taking the shots as well, but he still looked good against Arman. His grappling's still going to be there. Maybe there's a fucking path for Chandler to just sit on him and wrestle him like he did, like Arman did against him, and kind of just big top control. But I don't think Chandler's quite as solid on top in terms of defending submissions. His defensive jiu-jitsu is not quite as good as Arman's. I don't think this guy got subbed by Dustin Poirier. So yeah, I'm going to go with this dude's getting KO'd by submission threats, subbed by strikers, and then decisioned by fucking major finishers in Gaethje. Chandler's just fucking odd bloke. I don't know what he's doing. But yeah, Charles Oliveira, he's going to win, hopefully. I am worried that Chandler catches him, which is why I'm not that confident to put a big bet on Oliveira. I think that is the reason why they're kind of making the lines a bit wider, because they're trying to deter people from betting Oliveira. If this line was minus 150 Oliveira, I think people would be laying chalk on this dude. Maybe Chandler's just washed coming back. Maybe he's good. Remains to be seen. But I just struggle to see how this guy's going to be better than ever at 38. Chandler's not the guy who's going to refine his fucking career, work on the outside foot position. Like, he's not going to do any of that. He's going to bum rush in like a retard, screaming "see you" at the top, and then just backflip his way to a fucking TKO loss. So I'm picking Chad's Little Bulldogs, man. Thanks so much. Hello, Canada. He's going to hopefully bring the English back out. Man, this guy's great garden. Thank you. That's why am I venturing into a fucking Tetsuro Tyra impression there? I'm happy to. I don't know, but yeah, Oliveira's going to win, hopefully. I'll be very disappointed if he doesn't. I don't want to see Chandler succeed. Let's move on, though, to the next fight. Stop and last fight on the card, the highly anticipated, obviously well-deserving, unanimous number one contender fight at heavyweight, featuring the best two guys, obviously, in the weight class. That's what I'd be saying if I was Dana White or a paid employee to promote this event. Look, Stipe Miocic, old man Stipe, shout out LT, Fluke is glazy, but I think he's got a decent shot, all jokes aside. I actually think he might succeed a bit. I don't think he's going to win, because at the end of the day, Dana's going to slip those judges a few extra bucks to make sure Jones gets the win. So unless Stipe finishes him, which I doubt, I think Jones will cruise to a decision. But people are acting like, bro, Jones is just going to run through him and finish him, bro. Like, are we going to act like Jones just runs through and finishes everyone? Like, are we going to act like Stipe's ever been finished on the ground, first of all? Never been finished on the ground, unless I'm bugging. Like, he got KO'd on the... He gets either KO'd on the feet, or, like, he's got 3 KO losses, I'm pretty sure. Struve, he got eye-poked. DC just got KO'd on the feet. And then, who's the other guy? Ngannou just slapped him. Mgumbo. And then the JDS loss he avenged. But he doesn't get, like, taken down and subbed. He doesn't get taken down and beaten up to a finish on the ground. Stipe's defensive wrestling, it's not amazing, but it's not awful. Like, he stuffed some... He got high-crotched by DC. I don't think Jones's pure wrestling is good. I think he's got, like, good trips and shit. He's got a good clinch game. But maybe trips Stipe out in the clinch. But again, this is assuming Stipe isn't just completely cooked. Like, if we get the Stipe that fucking fought Ngannou the first time, or, like, the Stipe that fought DC in the rematch even, I don't even think that was, like, the best version of Stipe. But, like, if we get prime fucking... our weight, immigrant mentality, fucking Stipe. Oh, fuck, Stiopic. I fucking love that guy. He's got that fucking immigrant mentality. If we get that dude, he might actually put up a good fight and, like, go to a close, controversial decision with John. But if we get old, washed Stipe, which, again, we have not seen Stipe in 4 years. This dude moves like a geriatric when we see him walk into arenas and shit. He looks like an old firefighter, looks like an old man. He is an old firefighter. I don't think he's taking his career as seriously. It's not like he's just been pushing in the training room for the last 4 years. I don't know what weight he's going to be coming in at. Jones apparently is coming in real light. Maybe he'll just be way quicker than Stipe. Look, I would love to say that Stipe is going to box him up and finish him on the feet. But even Jones' striking, although I think he looked mid against Gall, but he did land some shots. And he does still have range. And he does still just abuse reach and abuse eye pokes and abuse oblique kicks. And I think that'll work here. I think we'll see a lot more striking than expecting. I think people are just assuming Jones is going to just take him down. We might see a whole lot of stalling against the clinch. I think this fight's going to be extremely mid. Maybe we see a fucking brawl, which would be sick and also a terrible look for Jones, because I think Jones needs to finish this dude inside 3 rounds. Otherwise, it's a bad... Unless he just dominates the whole fight like 50-44. Jones needs to finish him inside 3, because otherwise I think it's a bad look for people to be like, this dude was minus 750, which again, it would be insanity to pick a plus 500 fucking underdog here with Stipe. But I won't be the guy just to be like, oh, Stipe's going to win. I will be the guy to just act like, yeah, I'm picking Jones, so I'll get my pick right. But at the end of the day, if I say Stipe is going to make him struggle and he doesn't, and Jones runs through him, I still want my pick right. You guys can be like, oh, you thought he was going to struggle. I'll be like, whatever. But then if he does struggle, I look like a genius and I still get my pick right. And if he struggles and loses, John Jones that is, if Stipe wins, then I will get my pick wrong, but I'll get my like memo right of terms of like him struggling, and I want Stipe to win, so I'll be happy either way. So yeah, it's a win-win in this prediction. Because if I pick John Jones running through Stipe, I don't want that prediction to be right. So even if it happens, I won't be happy. But yeah, I want Jones to struggle. I want Stipe to have success, tag him up on the feet, land some good shots. And I think he will. And I think Stipe's size, physicality, again, first heavyweight fighter that he's fought that has grappling. Because Gall cannot grapple to save his life, realistically. Like, he's not awful at grappling. Like, he's not running fucking Darren Till takedown defense, but he's not far off. And his jiu-jitsu's mid as fuck as well. But yeah, Stipe, I think it'll make him struggle. I think it'll make him work for it. Maybe Stipe surprises John with a fucking takedown. We see like a Leon Edwards, Kamaru Usman type setup, like he randomly just catches him off guard with something. I could see Stipe getting his hands going. If this gets past the first, Stipe starts getting comfortable. I don't know. Jones never been like a guy who's struggled with cardio, obviously, but yeah, I don't know. I think this fight's going to be kind of mid. It'll be kind of competitive at moments. Jones will probably dominate the first. Everyone's like, all right, finish coming soon. Stipe will work his way back into it. Maybe win the second or third. Jones will probably win the fourth and fifth. 48, 47, 49, 46. Clear win. Hopefully it's a robbery. Hopefully Stipe wins, or if Jones wins, it's a robbery, and then we can all say he's a fake champion, which he is. But yeah, I reckon Stipe is going to lose still, but I think he will put up a fight. Anyway, that'll do it, guys. I won't be live for the fights. I might be live for the prelims. We'll see. I usually have mates over for the pay-per-views, but I'll do my postcard recap. I'll either be in a good mood or a bad mood, depending on the co-main and main event results, and I guess if Ruffy loses as well, that'll make me upset. But yeah, that'll do it, guys. Drop some other video ideas you guys want to see. These pick videos never do views, but I still make them because I'm a genius and I'm the best predictor on YouTube. 81% in the last 3 weeks, 76% in the last 5, 78% in the last 3. 76% in the last 6, 78% in the last 5, 81% in the last 3. I'm running some good picks. 10 out of 11 last card. I've been going 10 out of 11 for a few cards. I think I went 10 out of 13 on the Abu Dhabi and the Canada card. But yeah, that'll do it, guys. Goodbye. I'll quit yapping now. It's 1 a.m. In Australia. Peace out. Good night.